I think it's going now. Yay! Tansei! Oki bonzu, everybody. My apologies. So June is a really busy month. So for this month, I'm going to be starting at around 7:30, just because I am so jam-packed with my schedule. I think it's really important to just be a little bit more kind with myself and actually start a little bit later so I could actually have a bite to eat before I start. Yeah, I know, radical feminism. But I just wanted to welcome everybody today. Happy National Indigenous Month. Yes, it is official. It is June. It is also Pride Month, so happy Pride. This is the time when I get to celebrate who I am, which I'm so thankful and humbled for. As a Two-Spirit Indigenous woman, I think it's really important to be able to, share the teachings, to talk about things, to see how far we've come, but also to note how far we have yet to go. I think that's a big part of it. But knowing where we were even like a decade ago to where we are now, I think it's just remarkable. And it's because, there's been so many people doing that groundwork for, several, several years. And our ancestors have just really been beside us and behind us. And so I'm just really thankful for that. But to start in a good way, I just want to acknowledge the land that I'm on, which is Mulkinstis and Treaty 7 territory. I am in the Blackfoot Confederacy. And so I honor the Blackfoot, or the Niitsitapi, or Nitsitapi, depending on where you're from, of Siksika, Kainai, and Piikani. I also want to acknowledge the Sarsi Dene of Tsuut'ina and the Stoney Nakoda of Morley, which includes Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations. Oh, not Wesley anymore, sorry, good Stoney. And I also wanted to acknowledge the Métis of Region 3. I'm very proud to be Métis and to be able to, bridge that gap between Indigenous and non-Indigenous people, and to be able to really create those, ways of understanding. I think is so important, especially this time of year when we can actually start to have those open discussions. But I think it's also really important to address the fact that it's just we're Native all the time. We're Indigenous all the time. That doesn't change. It's not like 1 month, boof, we can come out of the closet. But this is our life, and sometimes organizations kind of tokenize Indigenous people, and they only bring us in, this time of year, or they call us last minute and be like, oh, can you do this? And they're like surprised and shocked when, people who are artists or educators are like, no, we've been booked since December. So, but I think it's really important to just recognize that, start planning in advance, start building relationships. Because I think that's one of the most important things is building relationships. And so, but tying into that, I wanted to welcome everyone into the circle tonight by sharing with you the Cree Welcome Song, which is from the Natahau family, from Joseph Natahau, and I'm very thankful to have spoken with him and heard the story behind the song and how it kind of came about, but also to have been, gifted like just the go-ahead to share it and to welcome community in a meaningful way. And I'm just really thankful for just all the connections that we've made over the years, and I'm just really thankful for being able to share this song. It's really ushered in my journey and led me down a path where I feel like I'm gifting to community. I'm bringing people together and bringing people's ancestors together and creating that ancestral healing that I think we all need. And so Miasin is, again, from Joseph Natahau, and it teaches us to honor each other, to welcome everybody into the circle. It teaches us to come into the circle without judgment and not to compare ourselves to others, because that diminishes our light, and nobody could be us. So why would we want to be anybody else? Because we're amazing. It also is sung usually in, we sing our songs in rounds of 4, as are the 4 directions of the medicine wheel, which I think I'm going to probably smudge today. But this song is a little different. We sing it in rounds of 3 to keep the circle open and welcoming, so everyone completes the circle today. Because in a circle, we're all connected. There's no beginning, there's no end. No one is greater or less than anyone else in the circle, just like in the hoop of life. So it teaches us to honor each other for those differences. Again, because if we were exactly the same, the world would be super boring and nothing would ever get done. So we need those differences. And I'm just really thankful for the journey that this song has brought me on. And it doesn't just mean welcome, although it does welcome all of our ancestors. I feel like if I don't start with this song, I feel like nothing's right. I have to start with this song. I have to start my day with this song. I have to start my live streams with this song. I have to start any event that I'm doing with this song, because it does usher in our ancestors and help them guide not only me, but everyone around us on our way. And so it doesn't just mean welcome, though. It also means beautiful. I'm going to stand up to sing. Oh my goodness. I was like wondering where my sweetgrass was. My cat likes to try and eat my sweetgrass. Niasen, miasen, hasemina, hasemina, epetakote, niwagomagan, hota, homa, kitaskino, miasen, miasen, hasemina, hasemina, epetakote, niwagomagan, hota, homa, kitaskino, miasen, miasen, hasemina, hasemina, epetakote, niwagomagan, hota, homa, kitaskino. Hi, hi, and welcome to the circle, everybody. Oh. Aw, thank you so much. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'm so humbled to be able to just welcome everybody into the circle. And so I wanted to start today with a smudge. I did smudge this morning, and somebody asked me, do you smudge every day? And I'm like, yeah, for the most part. If I don't smudge every day, I get really stressed out. So, because what a smudge is, it's like, you have a shower or bath for your body, you have to have a smudge for your spirit. It cleanses your spirit. It brings in the things that you need, lets go of the things that you don't need. But this is a public smudge, so I have a couple of smudge bowls. I have one for teaching, like big groups. I have one for teaching online, which is a little bit smaller than the big one, because the big one's usually, in my car or an event ready to go. But I also have a personal smudge bowl, and that's just for me. And then I also have a ceremonial smudge bowl, and that is when I'm leading ceremony. And so every smudge bowl has a different purpose, because of course I'm not going to do my public one personally, because that just seems silly. So I have another one, like a smaller one, just for me. But when we're teaching online, of course we can share it. But also I think it's really important to acknowledge that, if you're in ceremony, no, we don't record those things. We don't take pictures of those smudges, because they're different than a public or a teaching smudge. It's very different. And so I think it's really important to acknowledge those differences, because a lot of people are like, oh, you're not supposed to smudge online, or you're not supposed to smudge on camera. And I'm like, but if I'm teaching about the smudge, it's different than if you're doing a ceremony with the smudge. So there's a teaching smudge where you show people how they can do it, and it's their own personal thing. Or you have a ceremonial smudge where everyone is part of something bigger than all of us. And so this one is just for teaching though. And so that being said, I just acknowledge all the medicines that I've laid out, and again, I do them in accordance with what I carry forward. And I think it's important to know that everybody's teachings are going to be a little bit different. It's not right or wrong. It's just different depending on where you're from, depending on who you've learned from, depending on your elders, depending on what you need in your life as well. And I think it's also really important to understand that your teachings can change over time, because your experiences change and who you are changes as well. And so you might really gravitate towards some like Kaina teachings, and then eventually you might turn and go towards Pagani teachings, or you might, you know, start with like Ojibwe teachings and then go into more Cree teachings, or also Cree to Cree there might be differences too, and I think it's important to recognize that. And it's just your journey. It's acknowledging that not everybody's going to have the same journey as you, so don't worry about what other people are saying. If somebody says that's wrong, well, no, it's not wrong. It's your journey. It's your path. There's no right or wrong on this journey. It's just different. And you got to work with what works for you. And so I can only share what I know. Okay. So in the East, I have sweetgrass, which my cats love to try and steal from me. And sweetgrass, it's the sweetest medicine. It's a children's medicine. It teaches us to honor our mind, to honor fire, because grandfather sun's in the East, honor the springtime, and to really honor our childhood as well. It reminds us to stay curious, and it reminds us that when we make decisions, to think them through with all of our ancestors in mind, so that we make our ancestors proud, to think about our future generations, and then also to think about our 7 teachings. This is why this is a braid with 7 blades in each section of the braid. And so that is sweetgrass. It's also considered the men's medicine. So in some ceremonies, if a woman's on her moon time, she'll take a step back if they're just using sweetgrass, because it is the fire medicine. You're going through a cleansing ceremony. This is cedar. So cedar is our body medicine. It grounds us. It teaches us to honor and connect to the earth. And it's just a fantastic healing medicine. This is sage. I'm so looking forward to picking a lot of sage this summer. And so this is buffalo sage, also called buffalo grass sometimes. But buffalo sage grows specifically where the buffalo roam. Somebody brought me some white sage, and they're like, oh, this is buffalo sage. I'm like, no, this is white sage, and white sage and buffalo sage are different. Buffalo sage grows where the buffalo roam. It grows where they walk, and it also has a different smell because they would roll around in it to keep bugs off of them. So it's a different sage. It's a prairie sage, whereas white sage tends to grow in more desert areas. And so there are like parts of the Badlands here in Alberta where it does grow, or parts of like, you know, Medicine Hat where they have like a lot of dry conditions, or even by the hoodoos where it grows white sage, but not really here. So that's important to know. And so that's white sage, and that's what we're going to be smudging with today. That's the women's medicine. It's connected to water. It's connected to Grandmother Moon, which is connected to water, and women's medicine because it's connected to our moon time. And then the last one we have is tobacco, and cute little pouches of tobacco that people have gifted me. And then I also have this lovely tin. I'm gifted tobacco all the time, and I'm very thankful because it's like a sacred gift. It's honoring a relationship that you're building. It's honoring the teachings that we're sharing. We gift it to elders and knowledge keepers and drummers and singers and storytellers because they're keeping the teachings of their ancestors and spirits of their ancestors alive through them with the way that they share. And it's a gift. So it's a protocol. It's saying thank you. It's honoring their spirit as well as honoring that connection, that relationship. So usually if we want to build a relationship, we will gift tobacco to honor that relationship. If we ask for something, it's more binding than any legal contract because it's a spiritual contract and you can't break those. It's connected to the air because we can't see the air, but we breathe, so we know it exists. And so it's connected to our spirit because we can't see our spirit, but we're here, so we know we exist. I'm always going to use matches. I never use a lighter because it disrespects the relationship that we have with the medicines, because we're not entitled to anything in a lighter. Not entitled to the butane, not entitled to the metal or the plastic. And so with matches, they were a traditional Indigenous invention. Actually, we had matches that were made out of some traditional medicines, out of bitumen from up north, out of sulfur that would come off of the glaciers in the springtime, and then there was a mixture of some other things. But yeah, Indigenous invention, who knew? Before phosphorus was figured out. And so I'm going to go ahead and light that. And when you smudge, there's no right or wrong way to smudge. It's whatever feels good to you. You just want to make sure that you're honoring your own spirit. Like my kids, when they smudge, they just kind of like smudge their head, their heart, their belly button, and then their whole body, and then they're like, bye, and they just leave. One thing I'm going to do, though, is I always fan it with my hand. You never want to blow on it, because your breath is your life, and your life is precious, and you don't want to waste that for anybody. Bring that a little closer. So the first thing I like to do is just clean my hands, so anything that I'm carrying, I get rid of. I bring it over my body. 1, 2, 3, 4 times down to the 4 directions in my body. Switch my mind so I can think clearly and learn from every person that crosses my path. So I can remember to be open-minded and never rigid with my thinking, and to always think good thoughts. Smudge your ears so you can be open to hear all of the beautiful messages that you are sent. Hear all of the voices in nature and around us, but hear the genuine voices of people around us as well. To actually take the time to listen. This is why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So we can listen twice as much as we speak, so we can hear good things, and to give thanks for our hearing. Smudge my eyes, because I'm very thankful to see the world in a beautiful way. To give thanks for our vision, so we can remember to see the unseen, but also so we can see the beauty in everything around us and everyone around us. Smudge our noses so we can smell danger and nature and cookies. I smudge my mouth so I speak good words. I always ask myself, is it truthful? Is it helpful? Is it kind? If it's none of those things, don't say it, don't do it. Smudge my throat, because I'm very thankful for my voice this lifetime, so I can continue to give voice to the voiceless, but also to honor everyone's voice around us, because we should speak together as one. Smudge my lungs, so I breathe good, clean air and honor the sacred breath that we all share with the plants, animals, ancestors, future generations, and all our relations. Smudge my heart, so I remain kind and compassionate and show unconditional love to all those around us, to my family, my friends, myself, that's a big one, remember to love yourself, and to all our relations. I smudge my stomach, so all of the food that I eat this day is going to nourish my body in a good way, and to pray for abundance for those that don't have it around the world. Smudge my belly button, because I'm very thankful to be a woman and a mother in this time. So I can honor that sacred wisdom that comes through your belly button, because that's where you're connected before you come into this world. So that's where your spirit speaks through you and to you. This is why your intuition is never wrong. But to help my voice be a little bit louder, so that we actually have faith in that part of ourselves that warns us way ahead of time. I'm going to smudge my hood. I'm very thankful to be a woman and a mother in this time, but also to be a two-spirit person and to carry that wisdom and knowledge and those responsibilities in a good way. I'll smudge my shoulders and my back so I can carry all of my responsibilities with grace, with humility, with respect, and with wisdom on this path. I smudge my arms and my hands so I can do the good work that Creator's put me here to do with love and joy. I smudge my legs so I walk this red road in a good way, so I walk a good path, and so that I can walk along my path with courage, with respect, and with humility. I smudge my feet so I stay grounded and connected to Mother Earth, treading lightly upon her and honoring her with every step. And then if there's anywhere else in your body that you need a little extra love, so I went to physio today, so there's a lot of places in my body that I need a little extra love. I'm still recovering from that car accident on the 5th, but, you know, just a little bit at a time, friends. And so, definitely all of the places. And then if there's anyone in your life that you want to send some love and some healing to, maybe you just miss them, maybe they're going through something, and it can be emotional healing, mental healing, physical healing, or spiritual healing. You just send them that love and that appreciation. And then when you're all done, you just say thank you in your language, which might be hi hi, or merci, or magwitch, or masicho, or hey, or Ishnish. Oh, I know that one. So, but your language is important. That's the way you talk to your ancestors. So even if you only learn a few words, please, thank you, I love you, and where's the bathroom? Those are good ones. So I'll just let that burn out. I always let it burn out, because I always say it's just meant to burn as long as it sits. So, yeah, I'm going to share a couple of songs, one for my son, one for my daughters, because they just kind of came into my heart and my mind today. And this is kind of like wrapping up the end of the school year. So, Lyndon's transitioning to high school next year, so that's a big one. And the song that I wrote for him, kind of, I think, is kind of applicable to my eldest son as well, which is So Katik Opiki Opikiwin. Sukatika Pikiwin. It's kind of fun to say. But it means they make people proud of them and they're given special spiritual gifts for accomplishing extraordinary things. And with all that, the youth have gone through, with the pandemic, it's amazing to see kids graduating and to see them really working towards a better future. Well, a lot of people say that education is the new buffalo for the Indigenous people. And so this is what we're doing. We're claiming these spaces, these traditionally colonized spaces, so that we can bring that knowledge and even more knowledge than that. Because not only do we have this like colonized education and from that system, but we also have our own intrinsic ancestral knowledge. And when we incorporate those together, we can see incredible things happening. And I'm really just thankful and humbled for the people who are, activating those spaces, and for the Indigenous professors and students that are really bringing that knowledge forth. And I think that's such a beautiful marriage, because that's really what it should have been about in the beginning. Not just we're right, you're wrong, but how can we find these balances and the way to bring these knowledges together to make a better world for everyone. And so it's really, yeah, I kind of went on a rant there, but I was asked to write a song for the grade 9 grads, and it just so happened that my son was graduating from grade 9, so this was the perfect transition for it. And so, whoop, here we go. Major doesn't mind if it's on. And this isn't my drum, but I'm going to find a comfortable way to hold it. So the thing with Anishinaabe drums is once you find the spot to hold it, you're like, yeah, that's my drum. But yeah, there we go. Wish you can see that dreamcatcher design. So this is Sokatik Opikiwin, which is strong tree growing up. So means tree. In English, it's a type of tree, and so that was the inspiration, a strong tree growing up, because my baby's growing up. Aw, thank you so much, Carolyn. And so this next song is actually for my daughters. I'm going to bring that over. Whoop. So I wrote this for them, which was pretty amazing. So it was kind of like their welcome. So they've been with me since right before the pandemic. They moved in like the like 2 weeks before the lockdown. It's like we're gonna get to know each other really well. I was part of the beautiful journey called a Synagogues. It was a dinner series where we brought together elders and artists and people in a community and teachers and stakeholders, and it was just, and youth. It was just incredible. We had so many incredible people that were part of this event from like all walks of life. And then our second dinner series, we brought in newcomers, whether they be refugees or immigrants or migrants, and it was just so incredible that we could share all of this knowledge and build community in such an incredible way. Because how better to build community than over a meal, right? And so we were supposed to have 4 parts of this dinner series, and we were set at tables with every table had like an elder and an artist, and the artist was meant to basically honor all of those conversations that were had and all of the learnings that were shared and all of the relationships that were being built, and create a response via a theme. And the theme for our table was, well, it's kinship theme. So some people got like sons or family, or some people got mothers or ancestors, or everybody got kinship terms. And then our table was daughters. I was like, because at the time I had 2 sons, and I was like, well, I am a daughter. My mom's a daughter. I cook on with somebody's daughter, and so I was kind of thinking, okay, daughters, maybe like we're kind of the daughters of Mother Earth, and so I kind of was trying to think, okay, well, why did I get sat at this table? But I'm gonna work on it. And then lo and behold, after the second dinner, the whole world just stopped. And that's when my girls moved in with me. And it made so much sense. Of course I was given daughters, because I was given the table of daughters, and I was given daughters at the same time, and it meant so much. And so this song I wrote for them. I wrote to honor them. It was Otanisiu means her daughter. Kitanis means, oh wait, your daughter. Oh wait, Otanisu means your daughter. Kitanis means her daughter. Nitanis means my daughter. And Kitanisanao means our daughter. And so it's really about honoring all of our children, knowing that we're all responsible for taking care of them. When we say our future generations, it's not just one child, it's everyone's children. Just like it's everybody's responsibility to create a better society for all children to thrive. Every child matters is such an important aspect, but it's so much more than that. We have a responsibility to take care of things, to take care of people, to take care of the earth for our future generations. And so this is really about that shared responsibility, but also about feeling welcome, feeling included, feeling taken care of, and feeling loved. Because Gakiao ne Wakamekanuk means all my relations, but it's more than that. It's we are all here to take care of each other, to take care of our future generations, and to honor each other's ancestors, because that's what brought us together. All my relations is we are all related, we are all connected, and we have that invested ability to honor each other. And Zakihitoin means I love you. But it's more than I love you. It's I love every aspect of you, of your being. I love your spirit. I love that our spirits are connected. It's a deeper love. It's a self-love, but it's also acknowledging that self-love is important for universal love. And so, yeah, this is the daughter song for my girls. Nisu Sake Hito in Way on way oh Way oh hey I oh Way oh way oh Kakia ne Waki Makano Sake Hito in Sake Hito in Way oh way oh Kitanis Sake Hito in Way oh way oh Way oh hey ah oh Kakia ne Waki Makano Sake Hito in Sake Hito in Way oh way oh Nitanis Sake Hito in Way oh way oh Way oh hey oh Way oh way oh Kakia ne Waki Makano Sake Hito in Sake Hito in Way oh way oh Kakia ne Waki Makano Sake Hito in Sake Hito in Kitani sana Sake Hito in Way oh way oh Way oh hey I oh Way oh way oh Kakia ne Waki Makano Sake Hito in Sake Hito in Way oh way oh Hotanisu Sake Hito in Kitanis Sake Hito in Kitanis Sake Hito in Kitanis sana Sake Hito in Kakia ne Waki Makano Sake Hito in Sake Hito in Way oh way oh Hey, hi. Um, and so I'm going to share another song. This song, though. So I've changed up the chickadee song a little bit. So it used to just be vocables, but I wanted to, I'm slowly learning little bits and pieces of my language, and I think that's so important to be able to, honor my ancestors by carrying that language forward in a good way, a little piece at a time. And it brings hope, I think, to not only the language, but also to what we've lost, we're starting to regain. And I think that's such an incredible step to move forward. And when we say truth and reconciliation, everybody thinks it's about apologizing, but it's more than that. It's about reclaiming what we've lost and being able to take that and be proud of it and honor that journey that we are taking with it, because that's where we can heal. I know personally in my own journey, I had to break the cycle of intergenerational trauma with my own children. And I had to do that through reconnection to ceremony, reconnection to culture, reconnection to who I am at my core. And my ancestors have led me down this path, and I'm so thankful and humbled. And so my children, that's all they've ever known growing up, is that they haven't grown up with fear or with pain or with abuse. They've grown up knowing to be proud of who they are as Indigenous kids. They've been connected to ceremony, and whenever I'm sharing culture and teachings, they're like, yeah, we know. It's just like boring to them now, which I think growing up, I wish I would have been so deeply connected the way that they have the opportunity to connect. But then again, you might have taken it for granted as well. But the chickadee has been part of that journey. So the vocables for the song came through in a ceremony. I was asking for a community song, and this song came through because the chickadees were coming in and out of the door of the sweat lodge. In the third round, when everybody left, they were being very brazen with how far they came into the sweat lodge. And they just kept looking at me going, chickadee dee 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 dee, cheeseburger. And so I was like, oh, this is your song. And so this came through in that last round. And so, yeah, this is the Cheeseburger Bird song. I find it funny because I recorded it with the vocables last year for the CBE. And now kids see me and they're like, you're the chickadee lady. So I'm the chickadee lady, apparently. But it's a gift because it shows that those songs do travel. And the essence, and even if it's just vocables, it's the spirit of that song and that connection to the teachings and the land that continue, because the teachings of the chickadee is to listen, is to be present, and to hear each other fully and completely, because the chickadee never interrupts each other. And it's really about finding our path through listening, because everything in nature has a voice. So it'll guide us on our journey if we're willing to listen. So this is the chickadee song. To say chickadee in Cree, it's api chiki skis. So api chiki skis, and then the second part is pe ta ma. So pe ta means like, do you hear that? I can hear that. Listen, can you hear that? So it's about hearing, being mindful and hearing the things around you. And then the other one is hark, I can hear that too. Hark, or yeah, I can hear that. Can you hear that? Listen, let's hear it together. And so it's just really about listening and hearing, but being present with all of those sounds that surround us and being present with all of the voices that surround us in nature. And so this is the chickadee song. I'm going to do it as a call and response. So if you're at home, you can sing along. Happy cheeky skis, 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 happy cheeky skis. Puffy cheeky skis. Awesome. And I'm actually going to share a story and then a song because I've been thinking about the raven lately. I've been seeing a lot of them around, and yeah, it's just beautiful. Making all sorts of trouble and bad decisions because that's how a raven rolls. Oh, apparently my cat's trying to eat the sage as well. Thanks, kitty. All right, good to know. Yeah, so the Raven story. So the Raven story is a Cherokee as well as a Cree story. So as my cousin calls it, it's a Cherokee story. So a long time ago when the animals were first getting all of their beautiful purposes, some of the animals found it quite easily. So some of them had, like, the pollinators figured out, oh, we're pollinators, that's how we roll. The cleaners were like, oh yeah, we like cleaning up the earth, this is how we roll. And the beaver, of course, was redirecting the river, and she's like, oh, I love cutting down trees and building dams, this is my jam. And so all of the animals were getting these beautiful gifts and these beautiful purposes, and they were doing things to make the world a better place, or things at least that they would be able to teach us, the two-leggeds, when we arrived. And so one of the animals that was having a really hard time finding his purpose was the raven. So the raven had these beautiful rainbow feathers, and so no matter which way you looked at him, he looked like a different shimmering, shining color of the rainbow. He was very iridescent, very beautiful. And he was walking around, he was trying to find his purpose, and he looked everywhere. He was looking under rocks, nope, no purpose there. He was looking up trees, nope, no purpose there. He was looking at the top of mountains, nope, no purpose there. He was flying everywhere he could think of to look for his purpose, and he couldn't figure it out. He was looking for it like it was an actual thing. And so he thought, well, what if I didn't have a purpose? What if there's no point to me? What if I'm useless? And what if I'm never going to find my purpose? And oh my gosh, then I'm never going to be special. I'm never going to be amazing like everybody else. And then he started to feel really bad about himself. But then as he was walking, he looked at himself in a pond and he thought, I am gorgeous. And he kept walking, and then he saw himself in a puddle, and then he thought, oh, I am magnificent. And then he kept walking, and then he saw himself in a beautiful ditch full of water, and he thought, oh, I am stunning. And then he kept walking, and then he saw himself again in a beautiful pond, and he thought, I am so fabulous and gorgeous and beautiful, magnificent and stunning. I must be the best animal ever. That just must be my purpose, to be the best. And so he started walking around, telling everybody that he was the best animal ever. He would come up to friends and say, hey friends, have you seen my feathers? I am beautiful and shiny and rainbow. I'm so smart and I can fly. I am the best animal ever. And all of the animals said, well, no, Raven. Like, we all have different things that we get to do, that we get to share with the world, that we get to do to make the world a better place. And the Raven said, yeah, you keep telling yourself that, but obviously I'm the best animal ever. I mean, have you seen these feathers? Have you seen me fly? I am obviously the best animal ever. So sorry, friends, you could never be as special and as amazing as me, so obviously you shouldn't even try. And all of the animals thought, well, what if the raven was right? What if he was the best animal ever? What if they weren't special at all? What if there was no point? And so they stopped doing what made them amazing. The pollinators stopped pollinating, and all of the plants started to die. The cleaners stopped cleaning, and the whole world became a hot mess. Even the beaver stopped redirecting the river. And all of the animals downstream didn't have a place to drink. And not only that, but her teeth started getting out of hand, because when a beaver doesn't cut down trees, her teeth don't stop growing. They just keep going and going and going, and they were out of hand. And so the bear, who usually keeps things in balance, woke up, look around, and whoa, 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 wait a second. What is going on here? Why isn't anybody doing what makes them amazing? Why is the whole world falling apart? And why does everybody look really sad and bored? I better go find out what's going on. I'm going to go talk to the smartest animal I know. Of course, the beaver. And so the bear got to the beaver, and the beaver was hunched over looking sad, so he could only see the back of her. And he said, Beaver, what is going on? Why isn't anybody doing what makes them amazing? And why is the whole world falling apart? And the beaver turned around and said, well, Bear. And the bear said, oh my gosh, Beaver, what happened to your teeth? And the beaver said, well, Bear, I stopped cutting down trees. And when I stopped cutting down trees, my teeth, they just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. And now they're out of hand and there's no such thing as a dentist. And the bear said, well, why did you stop cutting down trees, Beaver? You love cutting down trees. And the beaver said, I do love cutting down trees. Why did I stop? Because of the raven. And the bear said, well, what did the raven do? And the beautiful beaver said, well, the raven made me feel bad. He made me feel like I wasn't special and that cutting down trees wasn't special. And then what was the point? And he said that he was the best and that I shouldn't even try. And the bear said, that's ridiculous. Nobody's greater or less than anyone else. She said, that's what I said. But he was just really mean and he was kind of a bully and he made me believe it. And the bear said, well, Beaver, you're amazing. When you cut down trees, not only does it help your whole teeth situation, but you build a beautiful home, and your home backs up the river just enough that sacred medicines grow, and all of those little animals downstream have a place to drink. And the beaver turned around, and she saw all of her little friends on the bank trying to get a drink, but the water was rushing too fast, and they would have gotten swept away. And she said, oh no, my friends, they're so thirsty. Oh, Bear, you're right. I better get back to doing what I love to do, cutting down trees and building a dam and giving water to my friends. But Bear, can you please go talk to the raven, because he's making everybody feel bad. And the bear said, okay, I will go talk to the raven. But Beaver, get back to doing what makes you awesome. And off the bear went to try and figure out what was going on. And he passed the pollinators who were looking really sad. And he said, pollinators, what's happening? And they said, well, the raven said we weren't special, so we just stopped. And the bear said, that's ridiculous. Look around you. All of the earth needs you to grow. Get back to doing what makes you amazing. And so they agreed. But they said, please go talk to the raven. He's mean. And so off he went. And then he passed some of the cleaners, and they were just sitting around looking bored. And the bear said, cleaners, we need you. Look at the mess around here. I only know a few little critters and animals that can clean up messes as good as you. You are very special and necessary. And so they got back to do what they love to do. And so by the time the bear got back to the raven, he had made sure everybody felt good. Everybody felt appreciated and valued. And he knew the world was back to life. And so he got to the raven. He said, Raven, what is your problem? You're making everybody feel bad. And the raven was sitting there staring at himself in a lake going, well, it's not my problem that I'm the most gorgeous, fabulous, beautiful creature in the world. And obviously I'm the best animal ever. I mean, look at me, bear. I'm so beautiful, I'm smart, and I can fly. And the bear said, yeah, but that doesn't make you the best animal ever. And you made everybody feel bad. You were being a bully. And the raven said, well, it's not my problem that I'm better than everyone else. And the bear said, no, you're not. And the raven said, yeah, I am. The bear said, no, you're not. And the raven said, yeah, I am. The bear said, no, you're not. The raven said, yes, I am. The bear said, no, you're not. The raven said, yeah, I am. The bear said, no, you're not. The raven said, yes, I am. The bear said, no, you're not. The raven said, yes, I am. The bear said, fine. If you're the best animal ever, you have to prove it. And the raven said, yeah, of course I could prove it. I'm the best animal ever. I mean, have you seen me? And the bear said, okay. Only the best animal ever could catch the sun. And the raven said, yeah, of course I can catch the sun. I'm the best animal ever. Watch me go. And so without thinking, he started to fly higher and higher and higher towards the sun. And the sun was pretty bright, so he had to squint. And as he was flying higher and higher, and his feathers started smoking a little bit. That was awkward. But he was determined to prove that he was the best, so he flew higher and higher and higher, and it's getting really hot. He grew higher and higher until his feathers burst into flames, and he said, my fire! He tried to put out the flames. I'm on fire! I'm on fire! And he lost control. I'm on fire! And he crashed into the ocean. And as he swam to the shore and he pulled himself out, he looked down, and his feathers, they weren't rainbow anymore. They were completely burned, totally singed. And he was mad. How could the bear play such a mean trick on him? And so he went marching to that bear. Well, actually, he went hopping angrily to the bear, because birds, of course, hop. And so as he was hopping along, all angry, he started to pass some of the animals and the critters that he had made feel bad. And he stopped, and he watched as they did what made them amazing. He watched as the pollinators went from plant to plant to plant to plant and helped them grow. And he thought, wow, I can do that. And he watched as the bees made honey with the pollen. He thought, wow, that's really good. I could never do that. Oh my gosh, pollinators, y'all are amazing. Look at how incredible you are. And he looked at his own feathers, and he didn't feel special at all anymore. And he thought about how awful he made his friends feel, and he knew he had to apologize. So he said, friends, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for saying that I was better than you. I didn't see how amazing you were. You're incredible. And I'm sorry I was a bully. And they said, well, thank you for apologizing, Raven, and thank you for seeing us. But we're going to get back to work. And so off they did. And as the Raven was walking along, feeling a little bit more sad than he was angry, he passed the cleaners, and he thought, whoa, look at all you're doing. You're cleaning up all of this garbage, and you're touching poop, which nobody else wants to do, but I mean, if that's your job, that's awesome. And I could never do what you're doing. And wow, look at ants, you're working together, and you're going to show the two-legged it's all about cooperation. And oh, that's so special. And again, he looked at his feathers, and he didn't feel special at all anymore. And he said, oh, friends, I'm sorry I made you feel like you weren't special, and I'm sorry I said that I was better than you. I can see now you're all amazing in your own way. Will you ever forgive me? And they said, yeah, Raven, we will. Thank you for seeing us, but we're going to get back to doing what we love. And so off they went. And the next animal that the Raven passed was, of course, the beaver. And the beaver was cutting down trees, and he watched in amazement as she chopped down the trees, and she pulled them into the river, and then she built a beautiful dam. But then he looked behind the dam, and he watched as all of their little friends started drinking some of the still water, and sacred medicines were growing. He thought, wow, that is so special. Oh, I could never do that. He looked at his own feathers. He didn't feel special at all anymore. And then he said, Beaver, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was a big bully, and I'm sorry I was mean to you, and I'm sorry I didn't say how incredible you were. But Beaver, you're amazing, and I'm sorry I was a bully. And she said, well, thank you for apologizing, Raven, and thank you for seeing me. But I'm going to get back to work. So off she went. And by the time the Raven got back to the bear, he'd finished apologizing to everyone that he had made feel bad. And he wasn't angry anymore. In fact, he was really sad. He said, Bear, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that I was a bully and I made everybody feel bad. But Bear, look at me. No, I'm not special at all anymore. And the bear said, yeah, Raven, you're very special. And the Raven said, I am? And the bear said, yes, you learned a very valuable lesson. And the Raven said, I did? And the bear said, yes, you learned about humility. And the Raven said, humility? That's a weird word. What does that even mean? And the bear explained, well, humility is knowing that you're not greater or less than anyone else, knowing that nobody's the best, but seeing people for who they are, seeing everyone for the gifts that they share and for the things that they bring to the world. It's not comparing yourself to others, but just knowing that we all have our own thing to gift the world and to share with the two-leggeds and to share with each other. So it's not greater or less than anyone else. And the Raven said, well, I get that now. And the bear said, also, humility isn't taking yourself so seriously, Raven, because if you weren't taking yourself so seriously, you wouldn't have flown into the sun. You know better. And the Raven said, you're right, Bear. I do know better. And he thought for a minute. Actually, you know what? That was a pretty good trick that you played on me. And wait a second. Tricks. Hey, Bear. And the bear said, yeah, Raven? And he said, do you think I could teach everyone about humility by playing tricks on them? And the bear said, I guess so. And for the first time ever, the Raven got his voice. He started to laugh. Ah, 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 ah. You're right, Bear. I'm going to teach everyone about humility by playing tricks on them. And so from that day forward in all of our stories, the raven became the trickster. But still to this day, if you look at a raven's feather, it has a little shimmer of rainbow to remind him to stay humble. And that's the raven story. And now I'm going to sing the raven song. Woohoo! Wee. And so, the raven song. In the raven song, we sing it through 4 times, of course, but the 3rd time, you're going to hear a woo as the raven falls out of the sky and learns his lesson. We're going to get a little bit higher. And so there's 3 parts of the song. There's a part that we sing all together. There's a part where we let out our happy sound, and then there's a call and response. And so I'll sing it through, and hopefully you can catch up. And so I'm just gonna say a quick little thank you. Yes, so this is the thank you song. And this song, I kind of worked with Nitsitapi, and it just kind of came through because I was trying to teach them how to remember how to say thank you in my languages. So in Cree, it's hi hi, hand to heart. In Anishinaabe, it's thank you from my heart to yours, Miigwech. And then in Michif, it's thank you all around, Marcy. So hi hi, Miigwech, Marcy. And how better to learn words than in a song? So this is the thank you song. It has a call and response. And it's a heartbeat. Hi, 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 Miigwech, Miigwech, Marcy, Marcy. Hi, 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 Miigwech, Miigwech, Marcy, Marcy. From me to you, and you to me, and you to me. Hi, 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 Miigwech, Miigwech, Marcy, Marcy. Hey, yo. Hi, hi, Miigwech, Miigwech, Marcy, Marcy. From me to you, from me to you, and you to me, and you to me. Hi, 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 Miigwech, Miigwech, Marcy. Way-ah, hey, yo. Way-ah, hey, yo. Way-ah, hi, yo. Way-ah, hi, yo. Way-ah, hey, yo. Way-ah, hey, yo. Way-ah, hi, yo. Way-ah, hi, yo. Hi, 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 hi. Miigwech, Miigwech, Marcy. Hi, 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 Miigwech, Miigwech, Marcy, Marcy. From me to you, from me to you, and you to me, and you to me. Hi, 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 Miigwech, Miigwech, Marcy. Last time. Way-ah, hey, yo. Way-ah, hey, yo. Way-ah, hi, yo. Way-ah, hi, yo. Way-ah, hey, yo. Way-ah, hey, yo. Way-ah, hi, yo. Way-ah, hi, yo. Hi, 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 Miigwech, Miigwech, Marcy, Marcy. Hi, hi, Miigwech, Miigwech, Marcy, Marcy. From me to you, from me to you, and you to me, and you to me. Hi, 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 Miigwech, Miigwech, Marcy. Hi, 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 Miigwech, Miigwech, Marcy, Marcy. Hi, everyone. Miigwech, Marcy. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And yes, happy National Indigenous Month. Happy Pride. I will I believe I'll see you next week. Yes, I think so. Unless something comes up on my calendar. That should be good. So again, thank you again. Hi. Thank you, Miigwech, Marcy, for joining me tonight. And I will see you again next week. Miigwech, everyone. Have a beautiful rest of